Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is lesson 4. If you're looking for lesson 3, it is under my Light Seer deck. If you search that, it should pop up. I didn't label it as lesson 3 because I'm using a different deck. Anyway, I went over the Fool and the World card in that lesson. The Fool is card number 0. I'm going to go over cards 1 through 5 today and how they're sort of ways to think about them in order to do your readings. Okay, so the number 1 card is the Magician. The number 2 card is the High Priestess. I did a video on Divine Masculine versus Divine Feminine. You can think of this card as representing the Divine Masculine in its spiritual form. You can think of this card as representing the Divine Feminine in its spiritual form. These two cards, these two people are not married to each other. These two people are not married. They are spiritual leaders, spiritual consultants. The Magician is the one who is able to make things happen. The Magician has each of the 4 suits on his table. He knows how to combine all those suits, use them together in order to make things happen. The High Priestess is the one who knows. She contains a book. The Torah, only she can really read it unless you're enlightened, then you can read it. That's not that important, except to say that what it means is that she knows everything that there is to know. She contains all the spiritual knowledge of the universe. Okay, so these are these 2 cards. Remember, they are not married. They are, however, complements of each other. They are sort of the yin and the yang of the tarot. I have seen some readers pair this card with this card, the High Priestess with the Hierophant. No. I think that is a misunderstanding of what the cards represent. This is my opinion, but I'm going to give it to you. The Hierophant is also unmarried, but the Hierophant symbolizes tradition, religion, and institution. Now, I'm not saying that tradition, religion, and institution can't reflect or guide with regard to spiritual principles, but it isn't the embodiment of that. Okay, these 2 cards are the embodiment of the spiritual divine masculinity and divine femininity. Okay, so if you see a couple of other things these things mean in a reading, you should probably, as a reader, if you're reading for other people, you need to identify yourself as the reader as one of these. I identify myself as the High Priestess. If this pops up in a reading that I'm doing for somebody else, this represents me in that person's reading. If you identify more as the Magician, if that's how you see yourself, then if this pops up in your reading, that represents you for the Querence reading. If you're reading for yourself, it doesn't necessarily come out that way. All right. Next, we have 3 and 4, okay? This is the Empress and the Emperor. Now, these 2 are married. They are married. This is also femininity and masculinity. Sorry, I said that wrong. But this is in the physical world. So this is femininity, physical world, masculinity, physical world. So how does that show itself? It does not mean that every time the Emperor pops up that it means a man. Okay, we all have the masculine traits within us. It doesn't mean every time the Empress pops up that it means a woman. We all have the feminine traits within us. And this is really not about gender. It's just about the 2 forces and how they kind of work together. Not in opposition, but in harmony. And we want to maintain the idea that they work in harmony, which is why we use the term masculine and feminine versus good and evil or light and dark or some other ways we can think about duality. Okay, so The Empress is the mother of everyone, birthing, bringing into the world receptivity, adaptability, and the supreme versions of these things. And the Emperor is about taking charge, being in authority, having control, also protectiveness. It is the way that the divine masculine shows up in the physical world. So the Empress is the thing, the earth, and the Emperor is sort of the protector, the caretaker, the bringing it out, the gardener, that kind of thing. So this is the material, and this is the action that's being placed upon the material, okay? So also sometimes in a reading, often in a reading, the Empress will represent the person you're doing the reading for, or the Emperor, especially if they are looking for a mate, or they want a mate, or it's a love reading. They will be one of these cards, and their lover will be the other one. Not all the time. The kings and queens can show up that way too. But that's something to look for, especially if you're doing a reading, more particularly for a woman. The Empress will come up, and that's her, and the Emperor is her counterpart, and the same thing if it's a male, but it can be reversed. Okay, so that's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. The next we have is the 5. That's the Hierophant. Remember, I told you he does not have a counterpart. The High Priestess and the Magician are counterparts, but they are not married. They are not a couple, okay? But the Hierophant does not have a counterpart. The Hierophant is the structure, is the authority. It's the structure. It represents institution, okay? So now that we went over that, and we've already done court cards, I'm going to go over romantic readings because you will be doing them if you read tarot. If somebody wants a reading from you, it is almost always about a romantic situation. If you offer a reading, they'll ask for something else, career, general, whatever. But when they come to you, people normally come to you and they want to know about the guy they like, the girl they like, the person, their ex, the one they're estranged from. You know, that's usually what's going on. Also, if you're doing readings for yourself, which is what you should be doing all the time, before you do them for other people, you're gonna be asking about like your romantic interests, because this is one of the ways that people tend to get stuck on tarot too. And love is one of the biggest teachers that we have, romantic love in the world. It's why we came to the earth. We didn't come to the earth to sit and meditate and be by ourselves, although I'm not saying that that's not a worthwhile practice. It is, but we came to planet Earth to have relationships with people. Okay, so relationship readings. Okay, how to do a relationship reading. Okay, so one way to do it is to pick out a significator. Like I taught you before, you can go through and have the person pick out their person. Another way to do it is to just simply, look at the energy as the way that it is shown on our lovers cards in the tarot, which I'm going to show you right now. So we have 2 main cards that signify romantic love. We have a minor arcana one, which is the 2 of Cups, which I'm going to show you. And then we have the major arcana one, which is the Lovers, which previously was called Choices, which, there we go. Here's the 2 of Cups. This card symbolizes romantic love. The really beautiful, special, just being with each other, complimenting each other naturally, that kind of special, beginnings of love. Okay. And then we have the Lovers card. Actually, I'm just going to focus on this because the Lovers is sort of a different concept, okay? This is the beginning of romantic love. The Lovers is kind of a different concept. But if you can see, we have on this side, it's the right side. I'm not sure if that's coming up as the right on the way that I'm doing this video because things get mirrored or flipped or whatever. That is the male, and then on the left side is the female. Now, it does not matter, you can have love, you can have two males, two females, whatever, you can have anything going on, but you're going to pick a side that you feel represents your querent, and the other side will represent their romantic interest, okay? So I'm going to do one for, I was just going to do a general reading, and it's going to be about a male and female, and I will put the male on the right, and I will put the female on the left, okay? And that's what I'm going to do. We're going to go over some things to avoid, too, when you're doing love readings. There's a lot of traps in love readings. Oh, so many mental traps in love. It's crazy. It's crazy how much romantic love can really trap us. Okay, especially when it's unrequited. But here you go. Right side. Okay, so this is our general energy for our man in our reading. You can see that's not a great card. That's the Nine of Swords. You got the Nine of Swords. We've talked about this card a lot in previous readings. I think you know what it means. Okay, and then on the left side we have our feminine energy. We have the general energy of our woman is the Knight of Swords. Okay, she's in Knight of Swords energy. He is in Nine of Swords energy. Now, when I do an original reading like this, okay, when I do a romantic reading, any reading at all, it matters how the people in the cards are facing each other or not facing each other. So this particular reading right off the bat is about people that are not facing each other. You can see that he's over here in bed with his head in his hands, all these swords on the wall. The swords represent, remember, thoughts. Just troubled by these thoughts that aren't moving. They're just hanging in his consciousness, not going anywhere, keeping him up at night. And over here, she is facing in the completely opposite direction. She is running away from him. She's got sharp communication. She's got something to say, but she's not going towards him. She's going away from him. So this is already, we can see, a problematic relationship reading. When you have a reading like this, you need to be matter of fact about it, okay? We're dealing with, if it resonates for the person, then fine. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't. We're not imposing these things upon people. Remember, we're revealing them. So when you do a reading like this, ask if it resonates. Does that make sense? Do you feel this is going on in your life? Okay, and for yourself too. Do you feel this is going on in your life? Especially when it's showing something really, really difficult like this. Okay, so there we go. I got the general energy for him, the general energy for her. Let's see what's in between them. Now I'm just going to put a card between them to explain what is the mutual energy. What is the mutual energy between our pair? What is the mutual energy between our pair? Okay, I got the Knight of Wands. Okay, this is not a bad card to have in a romantic reading. The Knight of Wands can be a romantic guy or girl. He can, or she, is a passionate person, a sexy person, exciting, tends to not be that consistent, but not a terrible card to get in a romantic reading for mutual energy. So, but if you look at that, even in our mutual energy here, we have this knight riding towards that knight. And oh, look at that. Wasn't that funny the way that that happened? So we've got him. Did you see how that kind of turned when I went like that? So we've got the energy is flowing this way. It's flowing from this guy who's anxious, up all night, sleepless nights, lots of thoughts worrying him, thinking a lot, trapped within thoughts. This energy of passion is riding towards this person who is actually riding towards something else. So this is a pretty bad unrequited love situation I can see right away, okay? So what I normally do is I do like subconscious and conscious. It's kind of like a mini Celtic cross that I'm doing for both people, right? So I've got general energy here for each of them. I've got general mutual energy here in the center. And then I kind of go over, whoa. Okay, those two fell out, but I'm not sure where they were supposed to go. It was the Four of Swords and the Judgment, though. It will probably come out again. That usually is what happens. They come out again when I don't actually put them out. Four of Swords and Judgment, though, in general, I would say that the Four of Swords, which means healing, and the Judgment, which means like a rebirth or kind of like a reckoning, it speaks to some kind of like apology or healing from an apology. Judgment is a little bit more than an apology, though, I gotta say. It's not like, yo, I'm sorry I treated you that way. It's more like, oh my God, I realize that I've made a great mistake with my life, kind of thing. It's a bit different than an apology. But you know, same kind of energy, just more intense, okay? So what I normally do then is I've got subconscious for him. Let's go for what's underlying his general energy, the underlying influences on his general energy. Here, Queen of Wands, okay, so that means having a lot of passion. So clearly, you know, he's got Knight of Wands energy going towards her. Clearly, he has a lot of passion for this girl, this woman, this her, whoever she is. And what is her unconscious or subconscious motivation for her general energy? What do we got? What's going on? Oh, she got two. She got King of Swords. She's all swordsy. She's very swordsy right now. She's got King of Swords and she's got Eight of Swords. So this is like being trapped in a prison of your own thoughts. Everybody's really seen somebody who's like this or seen themselves like this is really what we should be saying. This is when you're trapped in your own mind. You really feel that you can't do something, but you can. You really, really can. It's you're holding yourself back and you don't know it with your own thoughts, okay? And the King of Swords paired with this. This guy is a really smart guy, a warrior, right? Paired with the Eight of Swords, he's somebody who's fighting, okay? So this is like a fight, okay? The Knight of Swords is a fighter as well. We've got really like a lot of fighting energy here. So whoever this reading is for, she's in a fighting frame of mind, okay? Let's go over the conscious, the conscious influences. We'll do his and then we'll do hers. Now, you know what? Let's do challenge first. I feel that we need to do challenge because of the way that this reading is coming out. We're going to do challenge first. So remember, the challenge or the obstacle is the thing that goes across the center. Okay, so I'm going to place a center card over my Nine of Swords guy, and he got the Chariot, okay? Let's see, what's her challenge? The Queen of Pentacles, okay. So it looks like his challenge is, the Chariot is, what does the Chariot do? He balances two opposing forces in order to propel himself forward. So the Chariot is the fastest moving energy in the deck. You'll hear that all the time. It really is. That's true. It's about forward movement, and the way that the Chariot moves forward, like I said, he balances his two opposite forces. So this person right here is up all night in their head, unable to move forward because they don't know how to balance these two oppositional forces in order to propel himself forward. He does not know how to do that right now. This is what he needs to do, though, and this is his challenge. Okay? He needs to make a move. He needs to make a move. All right. He wants to make a move clearly, but he is unable to right now. He is sort of stuck. Doesn't know how to do it. Doesn't know how to balance those opposing forces. All right. A lot of cards turned over. I'm not really sure about them. I'm going to conscious energy now. What's in their head? What's over their head? What's above them? What's above him? Oh, okay. He got the Three of Swords. What's showing up in her conscious mind? Ooh, okay, we got a reversal. We got a reversal, guys. Remember I told you, I make sure all my cards are facing the correct way. So if they get flipped, it's because it really needs to come out that way. Not because we're just, didn't do our due diligence. Okay, so this is a really interesting reading, actually. So in his conscious mind, he's got the Three of Swords. This card symbolizes, most often, it's cheating, okay? So you see how there's 3 swords in the heart? This is when a third energy comes in to the heart and to basically, usually it's a love relationship. A third energy comes in and just ruins it. And what's really sad about the Three of Swords is that when this happens, all three are harmed. Nobody gets off scot-free with this energy. Okay, so usually it's definitely heartbreak, but usually it's because of cheating. Sometimes it could be a meddling family member or some other meddling person in the person's life. Sometimes it's one of the, like in the two, you have the two lovers. Sometimes it's a thought. It's one of the lovers has an issue or some baggage or some thought that gets in the way. But frequently this is a cheating card. Okay, so either he thinks that there's been cheating or there has been cheating. It is greatly on his mind. It is affecting everything he's doing right now. Okay. Maybe he's the one who cheated or maybe he's not, but he either thinks that there was cheating or there was cheating. These are the questions that you do ask your person that you're doing a reading for, because you don't really know. You know this means cheating. How does that relate to them? So you ask, was there some question of cheating? Was there, and then you know what questions to ask the cards to continue the story, right? In her conscious mind, she got Temperance in the reverse, okay? So this means, I really do think that that she cheated because Temperance in the reverse, Temperance is like moderation, balance. When you get this card, like especially in advice, it's advising you, hey, listen, don't drink too much. Don't party too hard, take it easy, take it in balance, take it in moderation, chill. And when this card comes into your life, it means it's bringing more of that like balancing energy in. And it's angelic. This is one of the angel cards. This is in reverse. So for him, we have, heartbreak from cheating. And for her, we have, intemperance. So it does look to me like she probably cheated on him. So I'm not sure if she really wants this relationship. But let's go over her challenge. So for her challenge, she got the Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles is really very loyal. Probably one of the most loyal court cards. The King of Cups is also very loyal, but I would say that the Queen of Pentacles came out here in her challenge because we know we're talking about a female, so it didn't want to confuse me, give me the King of Cups for loyalty, because I might be thinking she was questioning his loyalty. In a relationship reading where we definitely have a man and a woman here, queens and kings are going to come up in a way that's meaningful. Like I said before, knights and pages, not really, but kings and queens really do often speak to a male and female. So she got Queen of Pentacles as a challenge, which I think means that, you know, her challenge is loyalty. So yeah, this is definitely, you know, it's definitely a tough reading. So I'm going to do one more. Remember I showed you, this is basically, we're doing like a little mini Celtic cross, okay? So I'm going to do the challenge of the relationship in general, okay? Let's see. What is the challenge of this relationship? I mean, it looks like it's already been stated. Obviously, there was an infidelity here that for whoever this reading is for, maybe it's for you. There was an infidelity here, and on the part of the female. Oh, I got 3. Sometimes that happens. All right, so I got 3 in the challenge. What did I get? I got Page of Cups, Ace of Swords, 7 of Swords. Okay, so let's do them in order. So this Page of Cups, new relationship, okay? Starting anew, new love, immature love, okay? Ace of Swords, communication, okay? So it looks like part of the problem here, so we have Page of Cups, Ace of Swords, 7 of Swords is deceitfulness, lying, cheating. Once in a while, it isn't, it's a plan. It's a plan that may go awry, but usually it's a deceitful plan. It looks here, and given the surrounding cards, so it looks like the real challenge here is that this was a new relationship, okay, that where there was some kind of problem with communication, which led to some deceit, okay. So I don't feel like this relationship it may not have anywhere to go. You know, if it was a baby brand new relationship, you know, maybe we're talking about something that's just, you know, maybe it's just done. But if we want to do outcome, right? And I don't like to, unless for a relationship reading, I don't really like to unless the querent is asking. All right, and then I like to be really careful because, like I said before, there are a lot of traps with romance, and I'm going to talk about them. I'm trying to talk about them as I do this reading. The reading is so interesting that it's hard to talk about. But, you know, you don't want to focus on outcome in a relationship reading. You want to focus on the querent. So we did this, like, let's say we were doing this for him, okay? And we'd want to focus on him. This is his side, right? So, you know, it looks like you are concerned that there was some cheating. You don't know how to move this forward after that. You know, what do you want to do is the question to ask. We're not trying to tell people how to live their lives. We're trying to help them get new perspective on their problems, okay? We're not trying to point them in a direction to go. We're trying to be a mirror to point them back to themselves to help them figure out where it is they want to go next, okay? So I wouldn't necessarily do an outcome unless I was asked, okay? But if I was asked, right, like, okay, well, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? I always put it as we ask the querent, and do this for yourself too, especially in a relationship reading, rather than what's going to happen. choose to ask the question, what will the most likely outcome be if I do X? Okay, and then you can ask on the other side, what will the most likely outcome be if I do Y? So let's say he wants to know, what will happen if I try to heal this? What will happen if I try to heal this? Let's see what card we get. He says to you, what will happen if I try to heal this? Okay, so you got the Two of Pentacles, okay? So that means it's undecided. Like, Two of Pentacles is coping. It means juggling. It could mean potentially that she could continue to juggle the situation. It could mean that he would be struggling to cope with the situation, but it's not a great outcome. All right, we can clarify that. We can clarify by, like, let's look, because remember, look at the Two of Pentacles. You see how he's juggling two pentacles? We can see, like, what is the two here? What are the two things that we're struggling with? So let's go ahead and do that. That's a common thing, a frequent thing to do when you get a two. Especially Two of Pentacles, Two of Swords also. Two of Swords is a really good card to do this with. Put a card on each side so that you know, because it means that you're either balancing two things, or you're juggling two things, or you're struggling with two things. Put a card on each side to know what you're struggling with. So let's look at what will be the balancing act that we do. Ooh, Knight of Pentacles came out, but there were so many cards under him, I'm just going to put him back in there. But I saw you. I saw you, Knight of Pentacles. We could also use another deck for this. I could take out my Light Seer. Sometimes I clarify with another deck. But you don't have to. Okay, we got Three of Cups on the one side. And we got Three of Pentacles on the other side. Oh my God. What a cool thing to happen. Okay. So here's why I think this is super, super funny and cool that this happened. This is a great reading. I'm glad that I got to teach you about this reading, because it's really, really interesting the way that it's coming out. So you've got threes on both sides. So we have 3 threes on this board, okay? The only three that we don't have is the Three of Wands. We got the Three of Swords, which I told you is heartache, right? And it is cheating, usually, okay? That was on his mind, right? It looks like he's going to continue to struggle with this three energy, okay? Three of Cups is usually a nice reunion, but a lot of times it happens when we're partying with, it's like a reunion with our friends. But I have seen this card so many times when a person was dating more than one person. It shows up a lot. It shows up a lot as you're dating a few people and it's still feeling really good, but it could become a problem really soon. The Three of Pentacles, also another three, that when it's in reverse, I often think it means, frequently means, these two reverse frequently means, there's somebody else in the picture here who doesn't belong. But this is about, they're both in the upright, so this is about managing the three. So basically what it looks like is he's going to have to, or the outcome is for him to learn how to deal with this third energy, this whoever it is that she was with that he didn't want her to be with. Maybe she's dating around. Maybe she's not ready to settle down yet. And that's what he has to accept, that like he's going to have some competition until she figures her stuff out, and that's how it'll go for a while. He'll have to cope with the fact that she's dating other people. That's what it looks like to me. And it looks like there's not really much of a choice here. It's not like he goes, if he wants to stay in this relationship, he's going to have to cope with the fact that she's dating other people. I guess it's not really a cheating situation. It's more of a, because that's right. We're coming back to here. Remember, this was a new relationship. So maybe they didn't really have a commitment yet. Right? But the fact that she's dating somebody else is really weighing on his mind, right? And she's maybe not talking to him about it, because why would you? So there we go. We did our relationship reading. Couple of traps I want to go over, things to go over, especially with relationship readings. If you get something you don't like, you might be tempted to continually ask the same question over and over again. When that's happening and you keep getting the same card over and over again, you need to make a bigger reading. Okay, so do a Celtic cross, do something else. Remember that the only person that we can change in life is ourselves. We cannot change other people. You can never make somebody fall in love with you. You can manipulate people you can play on people's insecurities to get them to be addicted to you. You can get people to want to be around you. Maybe sometimes you can influence them, but you really cannot fake true love. You can't make true love happen. You can't do and say all the right things so that somebody truly loves you. When it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And you know, that's the hardest thing for us, I think, to accept. And it's something you'll see a lot in tarot. Don't forget that when, you know, that the only power that the querent has, and if you're asking for yourself, the only power that you have in a relationship reading is what you do, how you behave. You can ask the cards a million times a day, like, what's this person thinking? Do they love me? Do they this? Do they that? But if you're not, it doesn't really matter what they're thinking if it's not, the relationship is going badly, right? It might help you, the cards can help you decide what you want to do, but the cards really can't, you know, control the other party. The only person that you really can control is yourself. Don't forget that. A lot of times people ask about people that, you know, are ghosting them, and you can really find out a lot of stuff from tarot. You really can. Things come to the surface. But the thing that matters the most is if somebody's not talking to you about their feelings, there's a reason. It's that, you know, whatever it is that they're feeling, they don't want you to know, or they don't want to express it, you know, and that fact won't change just because we've asked the tarot about what it is that they're feeling. So what you always should do as a reader for yourself and for others too is to try to bring it back to, what can this person do? What can your querent do to move themselves forward? And let them ask all the questions, though. Don't avoid stuff. Like, I see tarot readers do, like, you know, disclaimers and stuff. This is for entertainment purposes only. Like, no, it's not. No, it's not. Let's be honest here. It's not. This isn't really entertainment. I mean, it's something that is not entertainment. I wouldn't exactly call it advice. Like I said, tarot really doesn't work well as advice. It works as like a means of having a conversation with yourself, of growing, of getting to see more of the layers of your situation, of broadening your perspective. And it can also, if you don't use it right, sort of take you down a rabbit hole. And that's why people might think it's evil, is because they went down a rabbit hole. But remember that it wasn't the tarot that took you down the rabbit hole. It was your own mind focusing on the same thing over and over and over again, and not being willing to sort of solve your problem, expand your horizons, expand your mind, and come out of it. That is one of the big traps of tarot. So you can ask 100 times a day, right? What is this person thinking about me? What are they feeling about me? What I would encourage you to do is, when anybody, or even yourself, when you're asking yourself, like if I'm doing a reading right now and I go, what is that guy I went out with last night? What does he think about me? What does he feel about me, right? Whenever you're tempted to ask that question, right? You're putting that card down. Let's say, let's do a reading right now. It's going here on the right. Okay, you got the Wheel of Fortune for what he's thinking about you, okay? Make sure that you also examine your own thoughts and feelings in the reading. It's a trap to become so focused on somebody that we're not looking at ourselves, because we are the ones that have to grow in the situation. So whenever you're tempted to, whatever you want to say, what is he thinking about me? How does he feel about me? Go ahead and do it, but then put a counter card down for how you feel about him, because your feelings and your thoughts also matter in this situation, right? So here we go. Let's see. Okay, what is he thinking and feeling about me? What am I thinking and feeling about him? Okay, I got the Knight of Wands, so obviously I'm passionate about him. He got Wheel of Fortune, so there's a ton of ways we can interpret that. I would definitely get a clarifier on the Wheel of Fortune. I almost always clarify the Wheel of Fortune because it means that something's fated or destined, but it doesn't show what the fate or destiny is. So yeah, but it's a very positive card. So anyway, that's about where I'm gonna stay right now with the love readings. Definitely have to do more on this because it's a big deal. It like I said, it contains the most traps in tarot, and it also is the thing that people will want to hear about the most. Okay, so that's the end of this.